Inside ActiveCampaign, it's really easy to make like a teeny tiny mistake inside your automation that then is breaking the whole thing or doing all kinds of weird things you do not want to. So in this tutorial, I want to show you how I'm testing my emails and my automations to make sure that really everything is working like I want it to. So let's just dive right in. So I want to test this automation over here. So this is my onboarding automation for new contacts. So to give you a bird's eye view, this automation is going to start when somebody is going to subscribe to the main list and they have never entered this automation before, and they also didn't sign up for my live automation workshop and also not for my free ActiveCampaign email course, because that is basically the goal of this onboarding automation, to invite people for either the workshop or the email course depending on what they are interested in. So if they already signed up for either of those things, then I do not want to start this automation, right? Now then I'm going to wait until they're not currently inside the automation download delivery. So if they, for example, downloaded like a checklist or a cheat sheet, they will be inside that automation for maybe 1 or 2 days, depending on how they engage with those emails. And then they're going to continue. And then you see over here that we're waiting until 12 a.m., so midnight. And then we're waiting until 10 a.m. So then I know for sure that after they basically are not inside this automation anymore, then the next day at 10 a.m. this email will be sent that is about what to expect. Now then we wait until 12 a.m. again, then until 10 a.m. again, and then we know this email will be sent for sure the next day at 10 a.m. and then this email is about my biggest mistake. And then we wait again till midnight and again till 10 a.m. And then I'm going to check what they are interested in. So whenever somebody is interested in, for example, ActiveCampaign, they're going to get a tag that says interest topic ActiveCampaign. And if somebody is interested in, for example, Integromat, they will get a tag that says interest topic Integromat. So I'm checking that with an if else. So with an if else, if yes, if they have this tag topic ActiveCampaign, then I know like, okay, they're interested in that. They follow the yes path, and then the email will be sent invite for free ActiveCampaign course. Then they wait again until midnight, till 10 a.m. and then I send another email that says something like, hey, what makes ActiveCampaign so powerful, why I really love it, plus another invite for that free course. And then I'm going to give them basically 5 days to engage with these emails and to sign up for this free course. And then if they signed up for this free course after the 5 days, then they will follow this path. Contact hashtag event signed up free ActiveCampaign course. If yes, they will go down here. And then down here, you also see that there is a goal. And this goal is signed up for free ActiveCampaign course. So if during these emails, for example, if they sign up for the free course after this email, I do not want to send this email, right? So that's why I have this goal over here. So that here you can see the condition of this goal is contact hashtag event signed up free ActiveCampaign course. So when they sign up for the free ActiveCampaign course, for example, let's say here, then it will boom, jump over all these things over here to the goal and it will exit the automation. But if not, we go to another action and then you see that we go over here, and over here I'm checking if they, for example, have entered my automation evergreen newsletter. So the evergreen newsletter is sending out 1 email a week completely automatically. If yes, if they already have entered this, then we end this automation. If not, then we enter the automation evergreen newsletter. Now, if they do not have the tag interest topic ActiveCampaign, then we go over to this one, and then here I will do basically the same thing. If they then have the topic Integromat tag, then I invite them for the free Integromat workshop, or here it says course, and then I send another email about why I really love Integromat, and then we do here the same thing again. We go back up here, and if they do not have both of these tags, then it will go straight over here, and then I'm going to throw them basically into the evergreen newsletter if they have not entered that automation yet. So that's basically what that automation is doing. It is sending first like 2 general welcome emails and then like some personalized invitation emails for whatever they're interested in. And then after that, if they did not sign up for those things, or if they're not interested in those things, then they will go to my evergreen newsletter. So this is a really important automation. This is basically the first impression of what kind of emails people are going to get from me. So I really want to be sure that this is working well, like I wanted to, right? And in ActiveCampaign, it's so easy to make like a little mistake that you like, I don't know, make a mistake in like one wait action, and then, I don't know, it's doing something unexpected. Or maybe imagine we set the condition inside a goal wrong to something else, and then boom, it will jump there right away and skipping all the other emails. It can be really bad. So I really want to make sure that this is working well, and I rather tackle problems before the automation is going live than just adding context to it and hoping that everything works. So to do that, I have this little automation checklist over here. It's really simple. You can also do this in your head, but I just thought I'd just write it out to show it. So the first thing I will always check is the emails inside the automation, because that's most likely also where the most mistakes will be. So I will check, for example, the sender info, the subject line, the open read tracking, if it's on, the link tracking, if it's on, if it's past the spam check that ActiveCampaign is doing, then I'll do a desktop preview, and then I will send a test email, and then I will also read the whole email again to see if there's any spelling mistakes, something like that. So just to show you how I do that, it's pretty easy. I will just go to the email, and then over here I click edit, and then it will open the email itself inside the designer, right? So then first I quickly look here, like, oh, okay, does everything look okay? Okay, cool. Then I will go over here to this gear icon to check if I set the subject right, the pre-header text right, if I want any there, and also if the from information is right. So this is really important, right? Because this is how it will show who the email is from. So I always use my full name and then my email address, like you see over here, then reply to, I leave it empty, and then okay, this we leave on, and then over here you also see that it already passed the spam check. Now then I will go to the next page, and there we can basically check those same things again. So here, subject, pre-header text, from information, okay, message name. So this is only for yourself, right? So it doesn't really matter what's in that. And then I check the options here. Open read tracking on, link tracking on. Okay, so everything looks okay. Spam check passed. Then I quickly do a desktop preview over here, just to see if anything weird already comes up here. So here you, for example, see that my signature is rendering here, and also my unsubscribe text. Okay, cool, looks all good. And then I will send an actual email to one of my inboxes. So here I have an email address called emado@gmail.com, and then what I do is I just send here send test email, and then you see here test email sent. And then usually a few seconds later, if you refresh this, then you see that the email is already showing up, but in this case it still shows here the test text in front of it. Now and then I would just read the whole email. I see if anything weird comes up. I would also click all the links to make sure that everything is really working and that all the links are really working. I think especially that's really important, because in the past I've also sent out huge launch emails and then I made like a typo inside the URL, and then I would get tons of replies of people that said like, hey, the link is not working. And yeah, then you would be missing out on sales, right? So that could be really bad. So yeah, then I will basically repeat this process for all of the emails. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want to bore you too much, but that's how I would check all the emails. So I would go in there and then I would check all these things, and then I would definitely send a test email to an actual person inside an inbox. So I made this emado@gmail.com email address so that I can actually see what it looks like inside someone's inbox. And then if you want, you can even like put it also on your phone and also check maybe what it looks like on mobiles, right? So that's how I would do that. That's how we check the emails. And then I would have to check the automation. How do we check the automation? Now, that's pretty simple. I would also go over all these things over here. So first I want to check the triggers, and then basically the wait actions, the if else's, the goals, if the automation is active. And then I want to add a test contact to the automation. We'll do that last. Let's start with these things over here. So I'm checking all these things, but basically what I'm doing is I just go from top to bottom. So the first thing I want to check is the trigger. So what is starting the automation? Super important, right? That this is working well. So over here, I would click on this and then I can see the action options. So here you see that this automation, if somebody is subscribing to the main list, and then over here you see run once. So you have a difference between run once and multiple times, right? So if I would set this to multiple times, then if somebody subscribes to the main list, they unsubscribe, maybe a month later they subscribe again. If this is set to multiple times, they will join the automation again and again and again, depending on how many times they subscribe. So For this one, I want to leave it to once because I do not want to start my onboarding multiple times. I think that would maybe be a bit weird, but this is always a good one to check because I know for myself that I often did this wrong in the past. Now then, over here, I have some segments. So from people that are subscribing to the main list, I only want people to enter this automation when they match these conditions over here. So then you can see here, has not entered automation onboarding new contacts. So technically this is not super necessary in here because this is set to once. So basically they could not really enter this automation again, but I'm just doing this just to be sure, right? Maybe I make a mistake somewhere else. I don't know. Then I just know for sure, like, okay, this trigger could never start the automation if they have ever entered the automation onboarding new contacts. And then I'm also checking, so here, and if the tag does not exist, webinar, registered, live automation workshop, and tag does not exist, event, signed up, free ActiveCampaign course. So like I said in the beginning of this video, right, if they already signed up for either my free email course or my webinar, I do not want to start this automation because that's basically the purpose of this automation. So that is that. So then I checked all those things. I'm like, okay, here, okay, cool. Here, this is sent to end, not to or, right? And then here, okay. So then the trigger is fine. And then I would go over here. And then if you want, you can even like check that off if you really want to do it following the little rules that you make up yourself, right? So then here, wait actions, okay. So here it says wait until is not currently in automation, download delivery. So then I would think, okay, is not currently, is that what I want? Yes, that's what I want. Like until they're not currently inside the download delivery anymore. So that also means that if they subscribe to the main list and they did not receive any download, they did not sign up for a checklist or anything, then they're not currently in it. So then it's just going to skip this all together. So I would not set this, for example, to wait until has ended automation, because then if they did not enter it, then nothing will happen, right? So I'm just thinking out loud now, but this is how I would do it. Like I would go into these wait actions. I would like, okay, this is what I want. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, now these are a bit more simple. Wait until the current time is 12 a.m. in the contacts time zone. So you can also do your own time zone, but personally, I often use the contacts time zone. So then I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. And then context time zone 10 a.m. Then I'm like, okay, why did I do this? Oh yeah, okay, so like they enter this automation. Then I first want to wait until 12 a.m., so midnight, and then until 10 a.m. because imagine that they sign up for my list at 7 a.m. Then I do not want to send this already 3 hours later. So that's why we first wait until midnight and then until 10 a.m. Now then I'm sending this email, and then if you want, you can even like test it again. If it's like really important automation, you can also just go over here maybe and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I tested this, cool. Now then here we wait until again, and then again, and then I would just basically check all these wait actions. And then over here, the if else's. So the if else's are also really important because they basically determine which path someone will follow, right? So then over here I have an if else, and then it says, does the contact match the following conditions? Tag, exist, interest, topic, ActiveCampaign. And then I also check if there's not any typos in there or something, right? Because that would also be really bad because then it doesn't work. Now, okay, this looks really okay. If people will follow the yes path, and then it will send this email that will invite them for the free ActiveCampaign course. Cool. Wait until the current time is 12 a.m. context time zone. Yes. 10 a.m. context time. Okay. Yes. What makes ActiveCampaign so powerful? Okay. We'll send this email. Wait for 5 days. And then we have an if else. Does the contact match the following conditions? Hashtag event signed up. Okay. And then I also know, like, okay, basically only people that did not sign up will go in here because they should jump to the goal if they have this tag. Because in this goal, then I'm like, okay, jump to this action when goal conditions are met. Contact has a tag, event signed up, free ActiveCampaign course. And then I would also check all the other options in here, right? So here we have when this goal is below context position anywhere. Yes, I want the goal to be below the context position before they jump over there. Trigger this conversion. No, we do not want to do that. If the contact does not meet the goal conditions, wait until the conditions are met, because I know they can only follow the yes path here when the conditions are met. So this should be met. Okay, cool. So working, and then this go to, where is this going? Then I would follow the line. Okay, it's going over here, and over here I'm checking if the contact matches the following conditions, has entered automation evergreen newsletter. So if they follow the yes path, they have entered the evergreen newsletter, and then we will just end this automation. If not, then we enter the automation evergreen newsletter. And then what I usually do is I also click this icon to open the evergreen newsletter to see, is this really the right automation? Is that automation active? Did I test that automation, for example, right? And then I would end this automation. Now then, if they do not have the tag, then over here I check the same again, following condition, contact has tag. Okay, yes, cool. Okay, now then it will follow all these things, then I will check all these things, and then here I would also check this, I would check the goal, right? And I will follow this go to interaction again. So from everything that I looked at it so far, this looks really good. Like we checked all these things, right? Wait actions, if else's, goals, automation active. So I've tested it now, or I want to test it. So I have to put it to active. It is active. So, okay. And then I have to add a test contact to the automation, because now I tested everything. And then this is maybe a rather simple automation, right? It has like simple conditions and if else's and what else. So it's not so likely that there's still a mistake in it, because I really checked it thoroughly, right? But what I really like to do with really important automations like onboarding or some pitches, promotions, launches, whatever, is that I throw an actual contact inside this automation to really see, is this really working? So first I go over here, I delete this, we have a clean inbox now, right? And then I'm going to create a new contact. So over here, add contact, and then over here, I add emmadoe@gmail.com. So that's this inbox over here, right? And then I will click here, add, and then here, add to lists, main list. So I'm now basically faking that somebody is subscribing to my main list, right? If you have a form on your website, you can maybe even fill that out to see how it's really working. I'm not adding anyone to an automation. I don't add any tags, or do I? Wait, we can maybe already add a tag that says interest active campaign, so that we can also follow if it's really following that path, right? Then I click here, apply, and then the contact has been created, Emma Doe, and then over here it gives us an error that is deleted, but if I now refresh the page, it should be working. Yes, so it's working now. So then over here you see, okay, it has the tag, topic, active campaign, list, main list, automations, onboarding new contacts. So you see that Emma Doe already entered this automation. I did not do that, right? That just happened out of itself, because over here the contact subscribed to the main list, right here, main list, and has not entered this automation ever before. And the tag does not exist, registered live automation workshop and signed up free active campaign course. They also do not have that tag, and that's true, right? So then, okay, cool, then Emma Doe is now inside this automation. If I refresh this, then you also should see like a little number somewhere. So here you see now queue, okay, there's one person in the queue. It's waiting until Emma Doe is not currently inside the download delivery. So I know that Emma Doe is not in the automation, in the download delivery. So usually then it takes 2-3 minutes before they continue. It's not like instant. So then, okay, what I then usually do is I go over here and I go to view. And this is where the fun stuff starts, basically. So then over here, obviously, we do not want to wait for, I don't know, 5-6 days to see if this automation is working well, right? I mean, that would maybe be the very best way to test it, but I don't have the time for that. So then what I do over here is I skip this wait action, and then it will go over to the next step inside the automation. So sometimes this takes a little bit to load, but then over here now you see like a little X, it skipped this, and then it's waiting until 12 a.m. So then while I do this, I also read all these conditions inside the wait actions again. And then I would just skip again. And we basically do this again and again, and again for all of the steps. So then right now it's waiting until 10 a.m. And then over here I click skip this wait action, and then the email has been sent, and then it's going to the next wait action, and then I would skip wait action again. And then in the background, this email will be sent with ActiveCampaign. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes, sometimes it takes 10 minutes, sometimes it even takes 20 minutes. So what I basically do is I just go over the whole automation, and then especially what I want to check if all the if else's are working well. So I would just skip here again, and then the next email will be sent. And then what I do after I tested all this is I go to the Emma Doe inbox and I just check quickly once the email inbox again, or all those emails again, to see if the emails are really rendering well, if there's no mistakes in it. It's just like a double check one more time, right? So then here, skip this wait action. And then it's going to the last wait action before the if else. So this if else is going to check if they have the topic ActiveCampaign tag. If not, then we're going to check if they have the topic Integromat tag. So then we go to Emma Doe's profile, right? And we check here, okay, do we have to add any tags to test if the automation is working? So here, this tag exists, interest, topic, ActiveCampaign. And then I click here, skip this wait action, and then we can see what the automation is doing, how it's progressing here basically. So then you see over here, we have like a little check mark. So it's passed this step, and then you see that it followed the yes path because this tag exists. And this is basically how I would test the whole automation. So then here, we skip the wait action again, and then we go over here, we skip this again, and then if you want, you could maybe also add the tag event signed up for free ActiveCampaign course, so that you can also see if it's really jumping to that goal, right? But then for now, I'll just do this quickly. So then here we say escape this wait action, then for some reason it's stuck, so I'll just quickly refresh the page, then we can see what happened. Okay, and then you see now that it continued, and then the condition here was not a match, so it will follow the no path. It will go to another action, then it went over here, it checked if it has not entered the automation evergreen newsletter. In this case, no, so then it entered the automation evergreen newsletter. In this case, you see over here that this action was skipped because I know that this automation is disabled. So if you see this over here, this little X, then you're like, oh, okay, hey, why did it skip that action, right? So then you would have to look at that, and then it ended this automation, and then we basically tested if everything is working. And then if it's really important automation, I would test it again, and then maybe with a different tag, and then also maybe when they're halfway, I would also add the tag that is triggering the goal. But yeah, I hope that this helped you to understand and see how you can test your emails and your automation to really make sure that everything is working well, so that you can really minimize these mistakes. And this might seem a lot of work, but now I was also explaining it, but usually I just do this in, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. But then I can really tackle lots and lots of mistakes that otherwise maybe it would take weeks for me to notice that something would go wrong somewhere. So yeah, I hope that this helped. And if you have any questions about it, just let me know in the comments below.